This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com, and today I have a rare interview with none other than powerlifter, actor, former WWE Stampede, and world-class championship wrestling wrestler Ted Arcidi. How are you doing today, sir?
Good. How we doing, guys?
Everyone's doing great. You look very similar, obviously not as thick, but your hair and your face hasn't changed all that much.
I got the tail. I got the noggin. I don't know. I can still do some damage, right?
Definitely. Actually, you look like you can beat up most of today's wrestlers.
Wow. That says a lot about today's wrestlers. They're all skinny chickens.
Have you watched it in recent years? There's not as many good guys.
My friend Triple H, Paul, I was watching for a while with him. But I think that's the last of the good size ones. I mean, they just like high flyers now and doing goofy stuff. No hardcore lifters, not like before.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're afraid of, everyone juice, but even now, if they juice, they don't work out as hard as we do, I mean, we had it down. We were the generation, man.
I think they even allow testosterone replacement now for people that have prescriptions in WWE.
Right. So they can get the shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure
it does help. It's a natural part of your body, testosterone. But I don't know. They don't. They're afraid to train heavy.
How did you become friends with Triple H?
I'm in Manchester, New Hampshire now, and he's from Nashua. And when I was towards the tail end of wrestling, I had my store here, Weightlifters Warehouse, and I had my product line, my vitamin supplement line in Joe Weider's magazine. So he used to come over here and help me with the supplements and stuff. And he was opening up a Gold's Gym with some buddies the next town over. So we became fast friends. This is before he got into wrestling. And then he asked me my thoughts about him getting into wrestling. I kind of steered him toward Walter Kowalski. And the rest is history. But, yeah, Paul and I go way back, like, 89.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you still keep in contact with him here and
there? I haven't, not in several years. He's just so hard to get a hold of, and he's so busy. But I'm sure I will. He used to pop by once in a while. But he's
amazing that he might be the one to take over with Stephanie once Vince passes.
Yeah. Imagine that. From outstanding wrestler to booker to like main control promoter of the whole thing. I mean, but they couldn't have picked a better guy. He loves the business. He's into it, and that's his life. He always loved it.
What was he like in those younger days?
He was a bodybuilder, and he really tried to make it in bodybuilding, and he did get some level of success in the New England area. Teenage championship, things like that, state championship. And then I think once he got taller, he realized, because he was like 6'4", that he could make something with the wrestling, because he was always a wrestling mark in the beginning anyway, But yeah. Paul, but he was a worker though. He even promoted bodybuilding contests, and he ran the sales and all that stuff for Gold's Gym in Nashua and their other locations. He met Flair and these other guys when he flew down for a Gold's Gym seminar. They happened to have those guys speaking. But Paul was really avid in the business end of the gyms. He promoted them. He got them started. Memberships, advertising. Guy's a hell of a businessman. Before, a lot of people don't know that. He was really, really smart kid. Smart kid. Very resourceful. He, like I said, he promoted bodybuilding shows too. Kid had a shit together.
I understand you grew up in Buffalo, New York. Could you tell us a bit about your childhood and the sports you played growing up?
Yeah, I was there probably till I was about 8. And then I moved to Massachusetts I got more into my sports in Massachusetts. Street hockey, baseball. Everybody did Little League and baseball. And far cry from lifting weights. Didn't even remotely think of that. I was just into like everything. I loved fishing outdoors, but baseball and ice hockey. And I was good at ice hockey too. I wanted to play pro. I wasn't good enough to play pro, but I made all the all-star teams and stuff in the Massachusetts area growing up. Bantams, midgets, you know, all the way up to junior A. And then I played some college, but that's what I started, kind of like Triple H. I was feeling my oats with the weightlifting, and I was doing great lifting. I was making gains, like 5 pounds a week on the bench. And I when I started lifting weights in the blizzard of '78, that was that big storm in Massachusetts, all over New England. I started lifting weights there because we were all like, it was like COVID, but it was like snow. Everyone was sequestered to their houses. And so I had a weight set, and I started lifting, and I liked it. I had done a ton of calisthenics, though. I was really heavy into the push-ups, the chin-ups, the dips, sit-ups, and that I did that for years. And that really made me rip it. It made my tendons really, really well conditioned. So when I transformed into weight training per se, you know, like benching and shoulder pressing, I already had the good joints. So it was like a precursor, but it laid the foundation because I made some great gains. I was making 5 pound gains a week. It was insane. It was insane. I loved it.
What was your diet like when you were putting on those 5 pounds of weight every week on your bench press? Were you shoving down the food?
Yeah, I was eating everything. A lot of Chinese food. I love Chinese food. But then I get more into like steaks, chicken and spaghetti. That was a lot. And then when I decided, everyone is saying, you know, I was benching like 400. And this is when I was weighing 220, 215. And they said, why don't you, I was looking at these, they had these, what they call bench press meets. And I said, what the hell, I'll give it a shot. So I signed up for a bench press meet for the New England states. And I got first place. I got the best bench, 440 at 220, which was great. And then I did the nationals after that, and then the collegiates, and then it was awesome. I was on a path to like being the first guy in the area to bench 600, and I would just do like a meet or two a year, and I started getting a following and getting a lot of national attention, starting to get write-ups in the powerlifting and the muscle magazines. And that was a big thing then. I mean, shit, this is when the Road Warriors and everybody, they knew about me because they would be reading the same shit, you know. They're in their rooms and they're at their houses lifting weights and stuff. And that's all we dug, man. It was great. Bench pressing, powerlifting, you know. So
what were your workouts like when you were training for bench press? Did you still do every other body part, or would you
yeah, I still would work my legs. You want to work your legs because that's part of the whole organism, you know. It gives you stamina, it gives you explosion. So I always knew from the beginning, still work your legs. And I would still do some running up stadium steps and stuff, up hills, because that gives you a lot of explosion, gives you a lot of anaerobic energy, you know, because that's what you're doing when you're on the bench and when you're powerlifting, squatting and stuff, you're exploding. A lot of people negate that, but I'm glad because I had a good background of sciences and stuff. I was a teaching degree, but I had a minor in biology and med studies, so that helped out a lot. I remember concentrating on the bench press, nose breakers, tricep extensions to the nose, behind the neck press, curls, lats. Lats were really big because I just figured all this out. If you're going to bench a lot, you want a nice foundation, a nice big foundation, a nice big back. And it made perfect sense. To get a great bench, you needed like a whole symmetry, almost like a symphony of everything kicking in a microsecond at one time. Your lats, your shoulders, your triceps blasting up. So it wasn't just pecs. Behind the neck press, shoulders, lats, triceps. Really important, really important. And I built up my neck too. You want to build up a good neck too. Because you don't want to. One thing that used to just, I don't know, I could never fathom it. I would see a lot of these bodybuilders and some of these powerlifters. They look great, but then their neck, it looks like they were like a larvae form or something. They look skinny, you know? You got to have a good neck.
So would you just do the harness that you'd put on your head?
I would do the 4-way neck machine, like the Nautilus. They had that. I got one here now too, in my studio here. It's great. I got the whole setup. Right, Nick? Yeah, he's here now. I got a mill floor here in Manchester. We got the whole mill building. My dad and I bought it.
Wow.
And, I have a whole floor, polished hardwood. It's like Rutger Hauer's place. I got my workout area, my office. This area here, because of COVID, when I do my acting and we're sending off tapes to agencies and stuff, we do the self-tapes right here. So we got everything going. It's an awesome. Where are you now? What state?
I'm in Canada.
Oh, fuck. If you make it down here, you got to love it. You're going to love it here. It's like these old mill buildings. We converted the thing. It's beautiful.
I've driven through New Hampshire a few times, so next time I'll definitely look you up.
Oh, definitely. Come to the store, man. I got people coming to the store all the time just to like shoot the shit with me and stuff.
As far as your sets and reps when you were training bench press, what would be a typical training?
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, let's say on the road to World Recordville, I would do like a cycle. And the first phase of the cycle would be like 5 to 8 weeks of sixes. I would do my best 6 reps I can after a warm-up, 4 sets of 6 reps. And I try to get, and this is like my last cycle before I got the world record, before I did 705. I still got it down in my head, but I got it down in my training papers too. I ended up with 505 to 515 for sixes. And then I would go to 5s. And then I would get up to like 4 sets of, oh God, close to 560, 570 for 5s. Then I would go to triples and doubles. And those are like 3 sets of 3s and then a set of double. 2 sets of 3s and then a set of double. And then I'd break down and do some reps. Now this, and a lot of people don't believe this, but this is while I was off the shit. I get up to a 600-pound bench off the sauce. And then when I got on the sauce, because it was like, what's that bodybuilder who won 7 times in a row? Not Haney, Dorian Yates. I did the same thing like he did. I'd be on the shit 6 months out of the year, 6 months off, 6 months on. So when I was on, oh man, those numbers, your body kicks in. It's like welcoming. You got great receptors. So my best 6 was like, shit, 535, 540. And then my best 5 would be 600. And then I knew I was smelling a world record when I could do 650 for 3. 635 for 3. And this is with no bench shirt, just like a t-shirt. 635 for 3 and then 650 for fucking 2. And I knew when I could do that, I could blast 7 or anything after that.
Did you do that once a week, twice a week? How often?
Oh, just once. I have a light day on a Monday, and the heavy day, which I explained, was on a Thursday. Heavy behind the neck is on Saturday, but Monday was light. I mean, light for me, just repping out 400. Light behind the necks, maybe 275 for reps. You know, I had great recuperating power, but I think I say the big thing was because I didn't stay on the sauce long. You stay on the sauce too long, and your body gets used to it. You don't get that kick, and you don't get those receptors working. And you want to build up your tendons and your ligaments as naturally as you can. You know, so there's a science behind that too. And I never had a coach. I just figured this out all by myself.
Interesting. Did you have much connection with Bill Kazmaier over the years?
No, only when I saw him up in Calgary. He actually was kind of like, he had a lot of his friends detracting me from going for the world record because he knew I was going to break it. So they'd be doing crank calls at night and shit like that, or trying to say that my lift isn't going to be official because there won't be any judges out there. I mean, this is Hawaii, the international championships, and he wasn't even there. And him and his manager would do stupid stuff, just trying to get my head out of it so I wouldn't go for the record. I just had to block it. So I thought that was kind of bullshit of them lowering themselves to play games like that for another athlete, you know.
I heard he was ribbed really badly in Calgary.
Yeah, he didn't get along that good. He didn't have that. He didn't have the character, and I guess he wasn't humble enough to work with somebody. I mean, he meant well and stuff, but he just didn't have it as far as the panache, the character, because this is a guy that won the world's strongest man so many years in a row, legitimately the strongest man of the world, all 3 lifts, world championships, but he didn't want to give. He didn't want to. He wouldn't receive. There wasn't a balance. He wanted to be put over all the time, so it would be a shitty match because he didn't want to take a beating. You know, he didn't want to be a part of a comeback. He just wanted to dominate, and that's ego. He had an ego, but they ribbed him and stuff. They ribbed him, and I don't think he lasted long. That he went to the NWA, but I lost contact. I mean, I talked to him a couple of times when I had my supplement company. We were doing a big trade show out in Germany. Great guy and stuff, but for wrestling, I just don't think he didn't have the right character, you know. Yeah.
Is it true he had some sort of steroid operation go into for a while there that was helping fund all of his endeavors? Or
I don't believe that. I didn't know anything about him selling steroids. No.
Okay.
I don't think he was making enough money because he had his own supplement company and he was, he's doing promotions on his own stuff. I don't think he had to do that.
Yeah, I think Bruce Hart may have mentioned something about that, but Bruce is not the most credible when you're talking.
Yeah, Bruce kind of slings the shit sometimes. He's kind of like a wannabe because his brothers, so I think he's always going to feel that he was, he wanted to follow his brother's footsteps and stuff, but he just wasn't cut out for that. He kind of looked like a model, if anything, blonde hair and everything, decent guy, but I just think there was like an internal struggle because he's in Calgary trying to be a booker there and trying to wrestle too, and he didn't have any body or anything, So I stayed away from that fray. I just wanted to learn how to be a heel in Calgary, and that helped a lot because when I went to Texas, healing was really good, really easy with me when I went there. So I kind of used Calgary like a stepping stone. I really respect the Harts. They had me at their house a lot, and I made friends with Bruce's, not Bruce, I guess Bruce's brother-in-law, Brad Ennis.
Oh yeah.
We still talk to this day. Yeah.
I actually remember even when I trained in Calgary all the way in 2001, 2002, your record was still on the chalkboard.
No way.
Gym. Yeah. It's torn down now, but like
that was his gym, right?
Yeah, he owned that
You
gym.
used to go to that gym too?
Yes.
So
yeah.
you remember that picture that Kaz was there with me? And Kaz, he took the picture, and Kaz, this is how insecure he was. He was on his tippy toes next to me. Did he show you that? Yeah.
I didn't notice that. I didn't notice
Yeah,
that.
he was stepping on his tippy toes next to me in the shot. That's how insecure he was.
There was a fan that wanted to know, is there as much politics in powerlifting as wrestling?
No, just that situation with Kaz. Sad to say, they were just so disruptive. The bench is the bench of the world. That's the lift of the world, not the squat, not the deadlift. As much respect as I get for that, but everybody in the world fucking hears about the bench. And so when they found out that I was on my way, and they knew, they did the math and they saw my gains, that I was going to be the first guy to bench 700 pounds, that just pissed him off, because honestly, he probably would have gotten it before me if he didn't tear his pec at the world's strongest man. It's funny how fate is, but being the first to bench 7, being the strongest man in the world, it opened up a lot of doors, i.e. the wrestling and everything else after. My supplement company grew like a bastard.
How did you get into wrestling?
I knew Kenny Patera through a friend, Stevie Standerson, in Massachusetts, and we used to meet him at the Garden. We used to shoot the shit with him. This is like 84. And he was telling Vince about me. And so he kind of set up the meeting with me and Vince after I set the record. But I blocked all that off. I just wanted to get the record first. And then I went down, and they saw me in all the muscle mags and stuff, and was on a lot of the different sports channels, me breaking the records. So at the time, Kenny, now this is after, Kenny had been in the can, because I didn't see him. He was in the can when he had that fight with Saito at the McDonald's. They called it the Big Mac attack. They were closing down a McDonald's, and they wouldn't let him eat. And they had all these burgers they were going to throw out, and he wanted to eat them. So he was in the can, and I came at the right time because they needed a strong man, and they liked what I did, and they put me through the wrestling school, and that worked out pretty good.
What was the wrestling school at that time?
That was Passarello's Quest in Orange, Connecticut, and that was run by Tony Altamori.
Okay. Did you pick up on it pretty easily?
Yeah, strongman stuff. But honestly, I learned a lot because they wanted me on TV a lot sooner than what I thought I was going to get on. You should be wrestling at these camps and doing these road shows for like a year. They just took me after 6 months because they wanted to get me on TV. So I was learning a lot on the road and shit too.
That Piper's Pit you were on, I don't know if you've seen the video on the internet, but
yeah, the story behind that, I'm out of breath and everything because I was on the other side of the arena. It was like in Poughkeepsie. And then mentioning my name, and I ran all the way across the hockey rink, up the stairs, up into a balcony to where the pit was, and I'm out of breath. Everybody's thinking I'm on coke. I was out of breath. I was running, and I almost didn't make the thing. They don't realize that some prick didn't tell me, okay, Ted, you're gonna wait right here. You're gonna go on. It's almost like it was a sabotage. I was in the locker way the fuck down there, and they're calling my name, and they said, you gotta go. So I'm running, and half-assed talking, and I started lifting up the bench and stuff. But it's almost like you just run a 440 and someone's trying to do an interview with you. It sucked. I mean, it was still good though, because
it was entertaining. But for the record, there for all the people that said that you guys
they thought I was coked out.
Yeah, that's the rumor. So no, you were not.
Totally not.
Now, what about the rumor that Big John Studd and you had an altercation in Boston in the ring, that he tried to rough you up or something? Is there any truth to that?
There was never any truth to that. Especially that was the opposite. John Mitten. John was a great friend of mine, and I first met him when we were in Australia doing a tour, and we worked out together and stuff. I mean, and we had great matches at the Garden together. And we sold the place out when we did our New England tour, because he set the record, supposedly, and I set the real record. And I was on that show with Vince McMahon Tuesday Night Titans and stuff where they had the actual world record. So we built up this controversy, and it worked out great. And I'll tell you, man, matches with him, it was you know, we draw. We'd have a draw. We have a count out or something, but two strong men, because he was a big prick and he was strong too. The guy could legitimately, I can honestly say he could do probably 550, which is pretty friggin' good with those arms. But he looked like the consummate biker. If there was a guy that looked like a modern day Buccaneer, that's him, man. Long ass hair streaming out behind him, bare chested on a motorcycle. That's the man. And when he was wrestling, he would just get heat just by walking. He just looked so unbelievable. But he was just a great guy off the air, you know, outside the ring. And we talk about the match. And I remember, you remember this, Nick? At the Garden, because remember he goes, we're going over the match and shit, and he goes, "You're gonna pick me up, but don't fucking slam me," because that was his big thing. That was I can't slam because that would kill his. And he would say, "Don't slam me." So I'd pick him up like fucking like butter cakes, and the crowd was going shithouse. And I wanted to slam, but he'd gouge my eyes, and I'd have to drop him and shit. But I remember that, and he would guide me through the match and stuff. And then we have a count out outside. It was good, and I'll tell you, man, that's when I did. I started doing the double axe handles off the rope. Like I'd get him down in the middle, and then I go off the rope, and I'd jump. For me, like 290, I'd get like 6 feet in the air with a double axe handle going off the rope on his back. That was the picture play. That was awesome, and the crowd went shithouse on that. Two big men going at it. That was pretty cool.
I heard that Andre the Giant was a little bit jealous of him, I guess, because he was close to Andre's size. Did you ever notice that?
Yeah, I never did. I know Andre, when I was there, the poor guy, he was hurting. He was having breathing problems. His back must have been a mess. I think that's why he probably drank a lot. So I know he played a lot of cards. But he kind of, you know, you don't just go up and shoot the shit with Andre. Wait till he talks to you, because he's kind of like he's like a Hogan. He's a legend. So I didn't see anything between him and I thought they worked great together. Two big fucking guys like that.
You were in that WrestleMania 2 Battle Royal with Andre. Yeah. What was that like? All those NFL players.
That was incredible. Oh yeah, look at that. There it is, WrestleMania 2. Nice. That was it. That was awesome being part of that. The Battle Royal, working with these NFL greats, and we had like a mutual respect, them and me, you know, and us wrestlers, world class lifters, and them with the football. And I'll tell you, man, that was probably the most watched WrestleMania, other than one with Andre the year after. But this one, when they had the 3 telecasts, New York, LA, Chicago, that was all over the world. That was like insane exposure. Just all over the world, because that was just insane. And I was just happy to be part of that thing. When they call your name out and you're going out to the ring in front of like millions of fucking people, you can't help but be pumped. Yeah, you'd feel like you're on coke there. You know, you just want to start killing people.
How was Tony Atlas to work with? I know you had a bunch of matches with him.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. He you know, we take it out of the ring sometimes. A lot of countouts with Tony, but he was good as far as like a you know, give and take, you know. And he had been there before me, and that guy had a legit 550 bench. He had a legit 550 bench. We trained a couple times together, and he helped me with some other different things in the business. And we worked together, I think, down in Texas too, because he was down in Texas, World Championship Wrestling down there, world class.
Now, you also worked with Hercules Hernandez, another huge bodybuilder.
Oh, he was great, yeah. Sad he passed early. But that guy can work, and he was a good bencher too. I mean, he could still bench 550, 560. And you know, it's funny. I was telling John on the promo today. When you look at it, a lot of us wrestlers, basically, we were just a bunch of fucking gym rats, that just wanted to get into wrestling. We loved the fucking gym. We were the strongest in the gym, and a lot of them played football and stuff, but they loved working out, and so it seemed like a natural progression. But I remember him; he was telling me he wasn't even a bodybuilder; he just loved working out. He had a great gimmick, though. Good hair, man. Could he throw a punch too? He had the best punches. Probably right up there with Brett. Throwing a punch, it looked like he'd decapitate you, And he was in that Gulf Coast. He was in that Florida league for a while down there. That's where he got good. I think Percy Pringle might have been his manager down there too, off and on.
Yeah, I think for a while. A fan is asking, what did you do for your forearms to get them so huge?
I just followed my routine. When you got to grab the bar tight, I didn't do any individual forearm work. I just did, the benches, the tricep extensions, the behind the neck press. And I guess when you're grabbing all that damn weight, you can't help but get big wrists and forearms and stuff. I paid the price, though. I mean, I had to have multiple surgeries. I feel good now, but man, I wouldn't be around today. I had knee surgeries, partial replacements on my knees and my shoulders like 5 years ago. Smartest thing I ever did. Because right now I'm training light, but I feel great. I got range and stuff that I never had before. And a lot of my friends and my brothers in wrestling and lifting, they don't want to go under the knife. Your joint just gets more decrepit, and then you can't move, and then you die if you can't do your cardio and shit. These fucking guys are dropping like flies because they don't want to get the surgery, until it's too late. It's kind of sad. But I just said, fuck it, man. I want to be able to still run. When I was bone on bone, it sucked. It got so bad, I was doing my lats. This is like 5 years ago. I'm doing 130 on my lats. And my shoulders were hurting, but they were like grinding. I said, fuck this. I got to do something. So I looked into not full replacements, but partial replacements where I can still, they put like a titanium sphere over half. They cut half of your humeral head down, like 30%, because it's dead anyway, just from all that bone degeneration. And then they put a half of a titanium sphere. They screw it right in perfectly. So you have like a whole new humerus. And then they even carve out, get all the bone spurs out. They probably took about 3 to 4 hours on each shoulder when they did me to clean out all the old, it was like barnacles in a boat, just all the calcium that built up over the years of the heavy lifting and shit. And then they put in an inlay, like a socket, so the titanium can run up and down in it like a ball bearing. And the rehab sucked because I had to retrain my tendons and stuff. But I'll tell you, I'd do it again in a second, man. I try to tell my friends that get the shoulder problems and knee problems, get it done while you can before you have to get a total one. Total replacements are even harder to come back from, So like right now, like shit, what's today? Today's Friday. Wednesday morning, I ran my mile in like just a little over 9 minutes. I run my ass. I get no pain in my knees. Benching, I'm repping 2 1/4. No problem. Lats, I'm doing the whole fucking stack, 220 for reps. Triceps, I do nose breakers light, but I do a lot of them, like 180. Curls, I just do a lot of reps now with like 75, 80 to 100 pounds. And this morning I squatted. I could do 10s with 275 till the cows come home. But that pumps me up, which is good now for like just moving around. It's great for acting. And yeah, I love it, man. It's almost like my body when I first started lifting. I'm kind of more cut up, and I can move. Feels good. Really does. Yeah.
One guy who didn't fare as well as you for his long-term health is Billy Graham. I know you donated.
Yeah, how'd you find out about that?
Yeah, Billy told me actually that you donated something like $4,000 to his GoFundMe. What was the connection there with you and him? That
when I was on our West Coast tour with Billy, that's when I first met him, and he had a hip problem then, but he was giving me tips and stuff, and he was really giving me encouragement and stuff. But I always loved him, man, and he was just so fucking. The character that he has is just like a beautiful picture. Just looking at the guy and watching him work, just so individual but so unique. And he had a great fucking build. And he used to train with the guys I looked up to. First guy to bench 6. All the bodybuilders out there, and yeah, he was in that generation. So I was looking up to him. But he was still moving pretty good, but I could tell his hips were fucking him. And how is he now, by chance? Is he? I know he had to get like some other surgery too, right?
Apparently, due to diabetes, he's about to lose part of his foot now. So it's just one thing after another for him. Sadly,
yeah.
And he's got.
Well, give him my best.
He'll
I always have respect for him.
I'll show him this.
Oh yeah, definitely, Billy, man, fucking hang in there, man.
Now, for Ken Patera, there was a rumor that they let you go from WWE because Ken came back from being in jail. Was that true?
Well, that was part of it. They didn't want two strong men there, but it was kind of like dual purpose because I wanted to. They wanted me to be a heel, so I went to Calgary to do that. And then it still wasn't time to come back, so I said, "Fuck it, I'm not going to stay in Calgary. I want to get on TV again." So I went down to World Class. And I worked with Bill Hart down there, and that was a great move. And when I was all set to go back to the WWE, my vitamin business, my supplement business was skyrocketing like insane because I was in the GNCs, and I had this protein and mega packs and amino acids and all that stuff going before I got into wrestling. But the TV exposure with the wrestling went through the roof. So I really had to like run my business here. It was like I had employees and everything. And we made a shitload of money. It was a great run. And so I ended up getting married. I had a kid. So I just kind of decided to get out of it, you know.
I understand you were training with Les Thornton a little bit when you were.
Yeah, Les. Yeah, the English wrestler who was like old school, like Olympic wrestling. Yeah, he was great. I love Les. He just died too, huh?
Yeah, I think the year before last year or something, which was a surprise because he kept in really good shape.
Really good shape. How did he die?
I forget.
Yeah.
But it was sudden.
I'm still shocked about Nick was telling me about Animal. I never got to meet him. But I know he followed my career. I followed his career, but I know he was a big bencher, and really sad. That took me by surprise. I always wanted to meet him too. He seemed like a great fucking guy.
How did you get along with Vince when you were in WWE?
Vince was great, man. He gave me opportunity. I seized it, and the exposure I got from Vince, I'm glad I performed what I did. I gave him a strongman act, and it worked out pretty good. It worked out all right. Could have been better if I was in there longer, but you know, he put me over, and that's a big solid, man. When you're coming out of a gym, and you know, all of a sudden you have, you know, all this exposure and the ability and the opportunity to train for world class, you know. So I always indebted to for Vince. Vince, people just rag on him. Man, that guy has done more shit for people. I mean, what do people want? They expect him to babysit them, you know, make sure they're like he's a chaperone. These guys, they get in trouble. That's their own fault. Vince, he gets too much of blame for being a promoter from some of these people because they can't take care of themselves, you know. They always try to blame somebody else. It comes down to self-responsibility. You know, you want to go out and take Xanax and Coke and never sleep and just, you're going to blame that on Vince? That's your own doing. You know, you're an adult. So I always found it amusing and actually irritating that they would try to blame Vince on someone that goes wacky, like Benoit or somebody. You know, they're adults, and what's he going to do? Keep them in like a kindergarten class and make sure that, you know, be in charge of their making sure they get to sleep at night and, you know, curfews and shit? No way. You take responsibility. Chris Monty, go ahead.
Yeah, he wanted to know if the wrestlers back then cycled or stayed on year-round for the most part.
They stayed on year-round. They stayed on year-round. And you can't blame them. I didn't. Because even then, it was the perspective of health. This was all kind of new then. There wasn't any data to foresee what the effects would be later. All I know is I wanted to get my blood tested to make sure. I know they would go up and down while I was on the stuff, but you had to have a period where you stabilize. Because now, the people that stayed on the shit all year, and this goes for bodybuilding and powerlifting too, in the higher ranks, and even not in the higher ranks, your body doesn't have a chance to recuperate correctively, and it affects your heart, the steroids. And a lot of the guys, they die of heart attacks because it screws up the development of the valves and the just the whole circulatory system. And when you add the amount of plaque, and then if the person's taking recreational drugs, forget it. Then the body has no inert way of resting, you know, naturally. So you don't have that. The heart takes a beating, basically. And that's the problem. That's the problem with when you're on steroids. A lot of these guys, when you see heart attacks and stuff now, and large hearts, that's because they did the steroids, a lot of steroids. And, you know, when I did my world record, the last 2 weeks is the most I took with the steroids. You're going to shit, but the highest I was taking was 750 milligrams. That's it. The last 2 weeks. That just goes to tell you how little stuff you need to really do well, you know, with your natural ability. Now, today, that's like a regular dose for one day for some of these bastards. So, yeah, their heart's going to explode. That's not good, man. They don't know. They're not educated, you know.
The Ultimate Warrior is one that passed, I think, in his early 50s. You knew him.
Yeah, I knew him. And Jimmy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good kid. We worked together down when he was Dingo Warrior in Texas Stadium, and a lot of the fairs down there and on TV. But he was on a lot of shit, and he just got caught up in that, you know. And I knew something was up. Whenever you see someone, even when he's retired and he's working out, and you see the veins are like really like garden hose veins, that's a sign right there that there's not good circulation. There's not a good respiratory situation. And there's a lot of plaque in the arteries when you see that. I never had those big veins. I was proud of the build I had because it was still healthy, you know, but they just get too captivated by the press and everything. And you do blow up. I mean, he looked fucking great, but he was on a lot of shit. A lot of shit. Yeah. Remember they found stuff in his hotel room?
I don't recall that, but you knew better than me.
After one of the WrestleManias or something, they found stuff in his room. And there was a big controversy on that.
Billy also told me, like, I know Billy took speed, but like Warrior, Billy said, according to what Superstar was aware of, Warrior would take it before he worked out too, which obviously isn't going to help your heart.
He would take the Coke before he works out?
The speed. Which
wow. Yeah, like ephedrine or something.
Yeah.
See, that goes back to the stuff that affects your central nervous system. You can't do that shit. That's really going to work on your heart because your heart needs real natural REM sleep. And If you're doing ephedrine, speed, Xanax, you don't get that natural sleep, and your heart is taking a beating because your heart does rest when you get REM sleep. And problem was they depend on the highs and they take the lows to try to get to sleep, like the Xanax and the Valiums. But that's their own doing. Vince didn't push them on that. That was their own doing. You know, Vince isn't the fucking chaperone. Yeah, whenever you get something that affects the central nervous system, you're taunting death, especially as you get older, you know? And then, even if it doesn't bother you then, why are these guys dropping in their 40s and 50s, a lot of them? Because of that, the damage is done.
Rude is another one that passed away at 40, only 40. And I know you knew him as well.
Great fucking worker. Great working out. But then he did the recreational drugs. That was not good. He wasn't obese or nothing. You know who did that too was Gagne's kid. Who's the one? Mr. Perfect. Yeah, they found him dead next to his fanny pack doing, the hell was it, oxys or something, or doing crack. I mean, what the hell drives these people like that? It's horrible. Maybe it's just the fact that they can't face it. They're not in the glory days anymore either. And they just try to still like maintain that. But you can't. It's like me trying to juice up, trying to go for 7. Fuck that, you know?
Michael Dunbar wants to know, did any wrestlers ever rib you?
Yeah, they would. They would. Because I was a new guy. I just came in. I didn't have to work the lower circuits and shit. So they would rib me a little, you know, World's Strongest Man. They call me Fat Man sometimes. But that was all right. That was all right. Because what am I going to be? Like Mr. fucking sensitive prima donna like Bill Casman? Bill couldn't take a fucking rib. You got to learn to take a rib too, you know? Yeah, that's part of the game. It's a carny act, you know? And I was on their turf, you know? Who's this fucking world-class lifter all of a sudden? He's on national TV. He's got his own doll, you know? What about us? We've been in the fucking Mississippi League, fucking Crockett's League, and we're still in the undercard. So they took offense to it. If they took it too far, I'd just say, fuck them. What do you want to do?
Daniel wants to know if you would ever write an autobiography.
Nah. I don't know. Maybe. Right now, I love pursuing my acting, you know. So maybe later. But right now, I'm having too much fun.
Double S asks if cardio was ever a problem for you in wrestling because you were so massive, but you mentioned a bunch of times here you were a runner, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you want to still run. You don't want to blow up. Even a big guy. Even when I was going for the record, I was doing sprints. I was running up and down stadium things, stadium steps and hills and stuff. Cardio is important. When I was in wrestling school, I'd still run around the parking lot in Orange, Connecticut, this huge shopping mall. I'd run. I'd still try to run at least two times a week then. And right now I do 3 times a week. And all I do is a mile. But yeah, running is very important. Cardio is important when you're a wrestler. A lot of these guys did it on the side. But I know. See, I don't know about Ultimate Warrior. I don't know if he did a lot. I know he was like the running man. He'd run into the ring. That's a lot of cardio too. But if you're not in good cardio shape, that's a lot of stress on your heart. Now, was he coked up before when he was running out to the ring, or just on speed?
I don't know. From what Billy told me, he would take speed before he worked. Yeah. That's hearsay, but.
Do you think he had a premonition, like he just knew he was going to die and said, fuck it, this is my limelight?
I don't know. It was weird how he died, though, just a couple of days after.
Right after they indoctrinated him, yeah. That's fucked up. That was freaky, huh?
Oh, that was crazy. Alan wants to know how was working with the Von Erichs in Texas. Those were another group that unfortunately had their issues.
Yeah. I remember when I went to Texas, Brody was the booker, and I still had to prove it to Gary Hart that they wanted to see me work in a dark match. And I was with Cousin Junior in Fort Worth, and it was a great fucking match. I healed. And I still remember going back to the TV room, and he goes, "You can work, brother." And then I had a meeting with Fritz where they were going to push me, give me a good push. But I had to prove it down there. And I was in the room with the Von Erichs, all of them. It was Kerry, the little one, Chris, that ended up killing himself. He was a good shit. Who's the other one? Kerry, his younger brother, the one that's still alive.
Mike and Kevin.
So they were there with the old man. The old man was good man. He gets a lot of shit too. You know, the kids, they took the drugs and stuff, and it's not his fault. It's not his fault. I'm sure he pushed them to become wrestlers, and they enjoyed it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it. But they were good. They were good people. They liked me, and they gave me a shot down there, and I took it and got the strap, the Texas heavyweight strap. And I remember working with them. It was great. It was really good. And sad was when I went down there, they had just lost. Who's the one that died of Crohn's disease or something before I was down there? I know they lost Mike back in '84 in Japan.
Oh no, that was David. Mike was
right. David, right. Mike was the one they lost, right?
He also killed himself, but he had the health issues.
Right.
He rolled himself in a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
He drowned himself.
Did you ever work down there?
In Texas, I've got connections down there now. I'm actually covering the Texas territory now.
No shit.
So
that was unbelievable. I was down there. It was like a film we were doing there at night. I took a detour to the sportatorium where the sportatorium was. And I remember when I was down there, I rented one of those rent-a-wrecks. It was like a Pinto because I lived in Fort Worth. And I would drive into the sportatorium. That place was fucking lit up at night. That went all over the world, the sportatorium. That was the place to wrestle, man. There was something about it. It was like a mini Boston Garden. There was like thousands of people in there, and you're like in this cage. It's almost like Waterworld or like Mel Gibson, you know, one of those movies with the cage. And the TV was there, and it was great. But the Von Erichs, they put me over well. I worked well with Kerry and Kevin when they did their tags, and that was an honor because, I mean, they put that place over big time when they had their feud with the Freebirds and shit, and the Great Kabuki and everything. That's when I was lifting weights and I was watching those guys. So I thought that was pretty humbled area. It was pretty hallowed ground there. And then to see it's just like a parking lot now. It's nothing.
Yeah, they tore it down.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite wrestling match?
Probably like the one with Stud, a bunches with Stud. And I wish there was some on TV, but I did a tour with the Iron Sheik. Man, we had some great matches in the Midwest and out in California. Remember Corporal Kirshner? He got sick or something, so they had me go in. And, man, I'd be out in the ring. They introduced me. The place goes shithouse. And then you just hear this. You could just see this Iranian flag coming in. And he's waving it. And you couldn't even see him, but you see the flag. And then there was just this harrowing, ominous moan from the people. The fucking heat he generated. And then he'd come up and do his gimmick and stuff. And we already talked about the match. And, man, we both did so good. I was suplexing him, and we just take our time and work every move. And it was all about quality and efficacy of each move, not rushing it, especially when you got a strongman. And he was a strongman in his own right. The guy was a gold medalist, you know. I mean, he probably is, honestly, the toughest man in wrestling. Iron Sheik. Absolutely. I love him. I saw him at a couple signings, too. And he worked with me down in Texas. But we probably had we were top of the card everywhere we went with him, even though we weren't like the main event. The place went shithouse. And it was unbelievable. Yeah, it was really cool.
Are you surprised Nikolai Volkov passed before the Iron Sheik?
Yeah, Nikolai was a great guy too. They're probably two of my best friends that are in wrestling. Those two guys. I'm gonna tell you a little story here about. So I was in a tag, or I did an individual one with the Sheik or Volkov one night, and we were driving together. So we leave the stadium. We're at the arena, and they put me in the back seat because he didn't want the heels driving with the babies that look fucked up. This is before Vince, kayfabe didn't kayfabe it anymore. They had me under a sheath, like a blanket in the back seat. So we're out of there, and we're almost at the hotel, and then Sheik's muttering something in Iraqi or something, and I guess he made Volkov, and I still had to stay in the back, but then I had to throw the fucking blanket over me again. Sheik forgot his fucking comb, his brush, his favorite brush in the locker room. So he had to drive all the way back and go through the fucking gauntlet of people. And little do they know that I was in the back, world's strongest man under a fucking rug. That was funny, man.
That's funny. Before we wrap up here, oh, there he is.
You know what else is funny, Hannibal? The amount of times you've wasted my client's time. Ken Patera, Marty Jannetty, Magnum TA, now the world's strongest man, Mr. 705. You're wasting Ted Arcidi's time. We got places to go. We got people to see, Hannibal. That's it for you tonight, brother.
I'm going to have to go see him in person. I'm going to have to
come out in person. If you're lucky, Hannibal, if you're lucky.
Good to see you, brother.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.